Hey everybody, and welcome to the Tomorrow Guys. I'm Shaylor.
And I'm Jonathan.
And so today we are going to tell you what our actual top 5 favorite things were from our recent trip to Disneyland. Right before we went, we did the top 5 things we were looking forward to the most, and today we're going to compare our lists. So let me just get my list out.
So do you want to go first? I went first last time. I think it's fair you go first this time.
All right.
So we're going to start at the bottom and work our way up.
All right. Well, I guess I have 6.
Okay, well, I have 6 too.
All right.
Well, I actually have 7, but I'm going to
So,
6.
coming in 6th place for our top 5 was Trader Sam's. You know, we went
Really?
we went there a few times, and if you don't know what Trader Sam's is, it's like a little enchanted tiki room bar place at the pool of the Disneyland hotel. And on the outside, you know, you just walk up and you think, oh, this is just a place to eat and sit down and have a drink. But when you walk inside, that's when the whole place comes to life. And
it's magical.
Yeah, we just hit it at a couple times where we went and ate there. They had a good ahi poke tuna thing that I really liked, and we just hit it.
I liked their flatbread.
Yeah,
the flatbread was really good. The flatbread was good,
and we hit it at a few times where it just wasn't crowded, and so it was just a great ambiance.
And we found out it's open for lunch. We actually thought it was open only for dinner time, like from 4 on till the evening.
And that's not to be confused with Trader Sam's at the Polynesian at Walt Disney World, which doesn't open until 4. Right. And so we had assumed that when we went out to the West Coast, but the Disneyland version of Trader Sam's opens at 11, so you can go have a lunch there. If you were in the parks one day and you just wanted to go, ride the monorail over and take a break, you could go do that and go to the Disneyland hotel and see the pool. And so, I mean, it wasn't my first time in Trader Sam's. It's definitely not my last time in Trader Sam's.
We had a good time.
It's great.
Okay, my number 6, since we're doing 6.
Your number 6 in your top 5?
My number 6 in my top 5. Well, I could have a tie. So
my tie's in first place.
Okay, well, my tie is, I don't have a tie for first place. The new Guardians of the Galaxy ride. Yeah. That's pretty awesome. I was actually going into that ride with trepidation. Yeah. And, it looked awesome online, but, I just did not know, but it's a better ride. Yeah. It's a better ride. The outside sucks. I'm sorry. The outside just looks like, come on, Joe Rohde, fix it. But the inside is amazing. The ride's amazing. The animatronic. Well, the Rocket Raccoon animatronics great.
I got to tell you, that's on my list, so I'll go ahead and talk about it. I'll switch my 5 and 4 because that was actually going to be number 4. But I mean, you're talking 4th and 5th place. Yeah. I went into that ride wanting to not like it because they took out the Hollywood Tower of Terror, and I remember riding the Tower of Terror at Disney World when I was a kid. I loved it. And then, the Disneyland version wasn't quite as good, but I thought it was sort of a classic attraction, and it wasn't quite untouchable, but it was getting close. Yeah. And so I thought, don't mess with it. And so I went in there, and it doesn't seem like it fits in Hollywood Land. The exterior doesn't fit, and I know there probably are plans to redo that, but having walked in there and then experiencing the ride, I think the first thing I said to you was that's a better ride.
It's a better ride. It's more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the Tower of Terror, you have that anticipation of the big drop. Mm-hmm. Guardians of the Galaxy, there is no anticipation because it just like rockets you up versus
no pun
taking
intended.
you. Yeah, no pun intended. And it's really a fun ride. It's a hoot. I like it better for
different tracks, right?
Yeah, different music each time. It's basically the soundtrack from the movies. Yeah. So it's a different 1970s, 1980s rock and roll song playing. It's really cool. Mm-hmm. So that's a lot of fun. So that was your number.
Yeah, that was my number 5.
So that means I get to again.
You're on. Yeah.
Okay, so my number 5, and I didn't have this. I don't think I had this on my list the last time. It replaced. I had Pirates on my list. This replaced Pirates. Okay. And it was actually Space Mountain.
Oh, we got to do that.
We argued about this on the trip, but that Space Mountain, I just love it.
I mean, we could argue about it right now.
Yeah, I know. It's just the queue's not as good as the one in Disney World, but the ride and the sound system, because the sound system's behind your head, the new track, that they put in years ago that's really smooth. I think it's faster than the one in Disney World, and it has more stars than the one in Disney World. I just think it's a better ride, and I really enjoyed it a lot. So
it might be a better ride. I think
we rode it like 5 times.
I think Disney World is a better overall experience. But I mean, now we're splitting hairs.
Yeah, I don't know. I disagree with that.
But I will tell you
Disney World's got beat on the queue. That's it.
And some of that's nostalgia for me. So when you're starting to talk Disney, you get into the nostalgia factor, and that can become really subjective.
So what's your number 4?
My number 4 was the Grand Circle Tour.
You know what?
Was that
mine too?
All right, so number 4.
We agree on the number 4.
Our number 4 was the Grand Circle Tour. I think that was my number 1 thing, but seeing the rivers of it. I mean, you know what? Honestly, we didn't experience Disneyland. You did. I didn't experience Disneyland when the Rivers of America and the train was shut down.
It sucked.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to experience it with the Rivers of America and the train shut down because, like we said in our last show, that part really kind of gives the park its soul. I mean, the train and the Rivers of America.
You're just missing part of Walt.
Yeah, they are such an underrated part of the park. Right. You know,
and the new backside.
Yeah,
with the waterfalls, and not just the waterfalls, the animatronics, which most of them were there to begin with, but they're placed in such great locations now. I think they're more in your face. They're more like there, and you see them. And I just think I know the Rivers of America is shorter, and we did do the Mark Twain. Mm-hmm. I think it's a better experience. Yeah, the Imagineers really plussed it.
So in the old Grand Circle Tour, really the biggest highlight was the Grand Canyon diorama, right after the Tomorrowland station as you're coming into Main Street. Yeah. But now it seems like there's really 2 highlights. You still have that, and they did redo that. There's a little bit of projections going on the background. Yeah, it's kind of cool. But then also you have that new waterfall scene on the backside.
I thought the dinosaurs looked nicer. They must have gone in there and cleaned them up, and I'm wondering if they repainted them or something like that. I thought they looked. I mean, they didn't look different. They just looked better. They just. Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised because if you think about it, like. That's something that you're not going to redo that often. Right. Whereas Splash Mountain, you shut that down once a year, or once every 18 months. And that diorama, they're probably like, when are we going to do this again? So I think they did it right.
So what's your number 3?
My number 3, Steakhouse 55.
Wow.
Because now we're going to get into my number 3. Because now after this, I'm going into first place, which is a tie. Because you're like, how is Steakhouse 55 number 3? Right. I know that's got to be on your list, right?
It's on my list.
Okay.
It's higher than that.
Let me just tell you, don't be dissuaded that it was the number 3 thing on my list. I loved Steakhouse 55. Yeah. I thought it was great. I thought the pictures, the atmosphere in the dining room was great. We sat down in the waiting area at the bar area, and we just sat down there for a little bit, and that was great while we were waiting for a table. Mm-hmm. And then we walked in. The dining room was fantastic. And if you're going to bring out the food critic in me, here it comes. Because if you're going to pay a premium price for a meal, then it better be a premium product. So. I guess should I go into all this, or should we do save this for when we review?
Wait till I get to let's say wait till the review.
Okay, so we may review.
So your number 3,
55.
My number 3 was Max Pass.
Oh, how did I forget to put that on my list?
Look, let me tell you something. I experienced Disney at record levels back in December without Max Pass, without a railroad. If I'd have had Max Pass in December, I would have had a 1,000% better experience. There was one day, I believe I counted up, we got either 11 or 12 fast passes through Max Pass. We worked it.
Yeah.
We really worked it.
Which you couldn't have done.
Yeah, you couldn't have done with regular fast pass system at all. It would have killed you. I think it makes the park more enjoyable.
Yeah, for sure.
And It is a add-on fee, and I think for a family of 4, an extra $40 a day.
It's $10 a day per person.
Right, but that's $40 a day, so you're looking at an additional $160 to your admission, basically.
But you can also, if you only want to do it for one day, you can strategize which day you want to do that. Right. But I can tell you, if you don't know what Max Pass is, it's $10, but you can get on the app and make reservations for your next Fast Pass. Mm-hmm. And so you can be in line for one ride in Disneyland and make a Fast Pass reservation in California Adventure.
Hey, and I like it better than Fast Pass Plus. Yeah. I like it better than Fast Pass Plus for this one reason.
Which is the Walt Disney World version.
Fast Pass Plus makes you have to plan, and we need to do this in like a week and a half, by the way. We're almost 60 days out.
Yeah.
You have to start making your plan 60 days ahead of time. And you get 3 Fast Passes at once, and you can plan them any time of the day. And that's fine and dandy, but the truth is the Max Pass worked better. I got more Fast Passes on that device or whatever, that way of doing things, than I've ever gotten. The most I've ever gotten a Fast Pass Plus is maybe 5. I've never gotten 6.
Well,
and it's like, and what makes it great is that you have to be in the park before you can make one. And I think that, come on, Disney, bring it back. It makes it more spontaneity. The spontaneity came back. I felt like the spontaneity was there.
Right.
As opposed to Walt Disney World.
Who wants to plan their vacation?
Well, I don't mind planning. I'm a planner, but to plan it down to that degree that you got to be at a ride, in 60 days at 9:30 in the Magic Kingdom at that ride, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So bring Max Pass to Florida. So
well, and just to add to that, the crowd levels were at a 9 when we were there.
9 out of 10.
And nobody neither of us the whole time or anybody that we were with was ever complaining about the crowds.
And the standby waits were like 75 minutes.
We got in everything multiple times, and we were never waiting.
Never.
So,
so what's your number 3? Are you?
Now we're on number 2.
Oh yeah, you're tied for.
All right, I'm gonna pick one as my number 2, and I'm gonna split up the tie. Okay. And if you ask me again tomorrow, this could change. But my number 2, was we got to take some people around that had never been to Disneyland before, and that really could be my number 1, but my number 1 is extra special this time. But we had some friends that go to our church that were out there for a competition, and 2 of them were teenage girls, and one of them was a guy that I work with, and he's in his 20s. And really, none of them had been to, the guy had been when he was in 6th grade, but that didn't count. And the girls had never been before. And taking people around that had no idea what to expect at all, and seeing the look on their faces and their expressions, and just seeing them experience everything for the first time, that's something you really can't put a price on.
Right. I think it's cool.
So
my number 2 was Steakhouse 55.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a review on this, but one of the best steaks I've ever had. I mean, cooked to perfection. I mean, we talked about that when they came out.
Yeah.
They were both perfect. I ordered mine medium. You ordered yours medium rare, and they came out perfect.
At a high-end steakhouse, they nail it.
Yeah, they have to nail it.
Yeah.
The other thing was the dessert, and we'll talk about the dessert. But it was amazing, and we couldn't even finish it.
Oh my goodness!
But it was amazing. So that's my number 2.
I don't want to get into.
I don't want to go into it because we're going to do.
I know. We're going to do a review
on this. So.
That palate teaser at the beginning. Oh my goodness!
Oh, I even forgot about that.
Yeah,
that was amazing. Okay.
All right, we're going to do a review.
Okay,
on
so
that.
what's your number 1?
The Disneyland Hotel.
Okay.
It's just my number 1.
You mean, I kind of got the feeling because the first 7 or 8 minutes that we were in the room, all Shaylor could say was, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh." You were saying that. I've told everybody that.
So we stayed at the Disneyland Hotel. My wife got it for me for my birthday. It was the best birthday present ever, and it was great. I mean, as far as hotels go, we'll review that too.
Right.
It was more the fact that it was the Disneyland Hotel than like how great it was, but it was just the fact that it was a Disneyland hotel. Great beds.
Great.
I went to the pool one afternoon. I rode down the monorail slides, which was great, and
we're going to review the hotel too. So.
And we took the monorail into the park. So I love the Disneyland hotel. We stayed in the Frontier Tower. They had this really cool model of Big Thunder Mountain out there, which was awesome. So
I think we put that up on the Facebook page one day.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number one is your number two.
Yeah.
Was showing people around. I really enjoyed taking those. Well, for me, everybody's a kid. He's in his 30s and he's still a kid. But really enjoyed taking those kids around, and the drop-jawed reaction they had to
all day.
All day. And one of the things your buddy told me on the second day, said, hey, nothing here has been a dud.
Yeah.
It's all been good. It's all been good to great. And so that's a really good thing to do. But that made my time with doing that. I want to go back to the Disneyland Hotel really quick. If I could have done 7, that would have been my 7th.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why it didn't make my top 5 when we review it. So, teaser for the top 5. Hey, tip for today. Let me tell you this. Tip for the day. You don't know what this is. I'm basically making this up because I forgot, but this is actually a really good tip.
I'm ready.
If you ever get the chance to go with somebody that's never gone, take them. I've taken now, this has been like my 5th trip of taking people that have never gone to a Disney park. You will see the park through fresh eyes. And even if you're a long time person that's been going 20 or 30 years, it makes you look at the park differently, and it makes you enjoy it even more. And I think that's the thing that that's my tip.
I have a second tip to add to that.
Well, we can only do one.
Well, this ties into your tip. If you've never been to the park before, go with somebody that knows what they're doing. Because I know a lot of people that they go and they're like, yeah, we went to Disneyland, we went to Disney World. And you say, hey, how was your experience? And they're like, it was okay. And then you start talking to them about what they did, and you realize they missed out on so much just out of sheer ignorance, not knowing what to do, not knowing how to plan, not knowing where to go. And if you go with somebody...
I think our friends told us the very first day. Right. In the first 2 hours, we'd done like 5 major rides.
Right.
And one of them said, hey, if we'd been on our own, we would probably ridden 1 by now.
So our tip for the day is take somebody new. And if you're new, go with a veteran.
Yeah.
That's our tip for the day.
All right. Well, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Shaylor.
And we're the Tomorrow Guys.